There's a couple of people that I can name out within my life that um, had a major influence and impact on the type of person or man that I am today and the type of person or man that I seek to be into the future as I continue to work on who I am. I'm not perfect, no one's perfect. But there's been a couple that have been able to show examples of perfection, at least from the outside looking in, to a degree that it's hard for me to articulate. It's very hard. And I count myself forever blessed to have shared the same rooms as them, to see how they walk, their walk of life. Um, One of those, as folks on the channel already know, is my pops for sure. I am forever grateful that my pops was my pops and, was able to bestow upon me the things that he had to, help me be the person that I am today, to help make sure that my ideas of Earth and everything in and around it were things that I thought through. Um, he never gave me the direct answer, but he always tried to, ask me questions in a way to help steer me or coach me in a way to think and learn on my own. One of those other people I've talked about on the channel a few times. Um, he was a very special person. He was a very special man. I originally met him when I started first working at the place that I do right now. And he was one of those types of leaders that, irrespective of your race, your creed, your color, your religion, sexual orientation, he treated everybody equally. He treated everybody equally. He gave everybody the same amount of time to interface with him. He gave everybody, irrespective of their backgrounds, components of him, components of his energy. He made the time. I used to ask him, you know, why, how do you, how do you have the energy for all of this? Because when I tell you it was embedded within his soul, it was something special to see. That he always had that force. The type of dude that kind of entered the room and would just light up a whole room. You just knew that he was there. The type of dude that you see him like walking up the street and you look down at his feet, you're like, dang, like is he cracking concrete? Walking up here, just he was a force, he was a presence, he was established, and he was confident, and he walked with this confidence that was truly him. He walked within a confidence of the ideas of being able to pay things forward because he knew where he came from and he knew where he was going and he knew the things that were put in his way to help him along his journey. So he paid those things back evenly and equally distributed. So anyway, I used to ask him like, how do you have all of this energy to just give out in the way that you do? And what he said to me is, he does it for his family. Okay. He had two boys, has two boys. Okay. And he's married. And what he told me, we actually took a road trip to go recruit at a historically black college and institution. I want to say this was about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago or so. And what he said to me, I'm asking him, and what he said to me is that he does it for his family. Okay. He does it for his wife. He does it for his boys. And he said the same way that he does it for everybody, including myself, he does that because he would want me to do the same thing for his boys when his boys come of age. And it really sat with me. It really sunk in that this thing called life, this thing that we all, are coming up to an idea within it and trying to come up with a conclusion of our purpose and our why. There's a point that you get to when you can remove the noise in and around you, the noise of how people are telling you to live your life, the noise of them telling you or instructing you the best way to go about this, and to come up with your own conclusion, irrespective of if that conclusion is to have a family, to have kids, to get married. What I learned from him is that he figured it out on his own. He figured out what was happiness for him. And he lived each and every day with the idea of this happiness. Because that was his purpose. Wasn't defined for him. He figured it out on his own. And he lived in it. And he lived true with it. And you can tell each and every day that you saw him that this was exactly how he wanted to live his life. He passed away a couple of months ago, in his early 50s, very early 50s, suddenly, without warning. I saw him on a Thursday. I was helping host an event for an organization that I'm a part of outside of all of this that I do on YouTube or, what have you. I saw him on a Thursday. Same old personality, same old smile, big smile across his face. It wasn't any different. A few days later, on that Saturday morning, he didn't wake up. He went to sleep and he didn't wake up. Just didn't wake up. In his bed, in his home, with his family there. Here's the thing, and I'm sharing this story with you guys. I've been working kind of behind the scenes for the past couple of months, trying to get together footage for the family to share it in a video with them. At his funeral, there were hundreds of people there. That's the type of impact that he had. He had people coming in from all portions of the country that, were down in here and then eventually moved away. Hundreds of people here. The place that they had it in couldn't fit everybody. So the stories that were shared during his going away service, the family didn't have an opportunity to hear as much. And I'm sure he might have shared some things with his family. But I don't know how much he was able to share. And I know that within those four walls, they didn't hear probably as much as what they could have. So I've been working to record some things behind the scenes to hand over to the family. And what I've learned in interacting with him as well as doing the videos is he lived every day. He lived every day walking well within an understanding of what made him happy or what made him fulfilled and what he can do for his family. That feeling will always stick with me. His presence will always stick with me. And although you can look back on it, and I know I've looked back on it and thought to myself, why? It just doesn't make sense, because he was such a shining light in everybody's lives. And A part of sharing those stories with the family, I thought that it was important to at least share my thoughts on the situation because it can end at any time. So here's the thing. I want you guys to understand the long-term implications of not finding out who you truly are and how well that you are walking within your walk of life to understand your purpose or your meaning or the whys that drive you to true and utter completeness and happiness. I wanted to impart that story on you guys. It's been a tough time. I actually got the edit, the initial draft back out today, so it just kind of re-engaged in my mind. I think when it originally happened to me, it impacted me so much, and after re-seeing kind of the video today and getting reacclimated to the stories, as time passes, it's easy to let the memories of those that had readily impacted you slip down because these things up here, these brains up here, were not designed for long-term memories. But it's important that when you re-recognize that, you sit it somewhere that helps drive you forward. And I wanted to impart this story on you guys to help drive you forward in your walks of life as well. So listen, that's it for today. That's my story. If anything, I hope that his story and his impact on my life, I can hopefully impact that on your guys' lives as well. Until next time, you two.